In this presentation, we're going to highlight some of the activities we've done in 2020 and some of the things that we're planning for 2021. We have an agenda, and presenters are going to be Miriam, Fatima, Tony, Tina, Aaron, Anne-Marie, Linda, and Sian. It's important to note that the whole team is involved with all aspects of marketing operations, and we're going to cover these areas listed out here on the left, but it's going to be a little easier. We only have 2 or 3 people on each section. I want to point out that in our marketing planning that we normally add a couple other goals that we'd like to do in that year. This is in addition to the goals of lead generation and branding that we set out to do. But each year we like to have a couple of things that we'd like to hit on that year as big accomplishments. So in 2017 was really the start of our digital transformation. We got that been going, so we're very happy with that. And in 2018, we were able to release a brand new website. In 2019, we wanted to release our content strategy, as well as get our social media marketing more mature. In 2020, we wanted to apply the concept of campaign marketing, where we amplify a lot of things that we are doing. Normally, traditionally, we would do anyway, but by putting them around theme, we hope to get an amplification effect in terms of lead gen and message making. That was a big thing we did in 2020. We're going to cover a little bit of that later on. For 2021, really trying to build up our inbound activity with our online and virtual programs. We would like to get our content syndication full fired up again, but this year we'd really like to do a little bit more in that area. But before we move on to the presentation, let's take a look at one of the most important KPIs marketing has, and that is the inquiry generations. Now, you may be asking, what is an inquiry? Some people call these leads. We don't call these leads because these people are at the very beginning of the customer journey. And these people are people that have registered for our events, like a trade show or a webinar, or have come to our website and downloaded an ebook, a white paper, or even watched a video or a data sheet from our website, or they've simply gone to our website and completed a contact me or demo request, and they've submitted that. And we call those inquiries because essentially we've only put a very basic qualification filters on those, weeding out the obvious trash, if you will. But these inquiries are important because they start the process and they move on to business development, who go for a much more stringent filtering and qualification process for those to become MQLs, or marketing qualified leads, and become business development leads, and hopefully sales ready leads. And so it's the very beginning process of the customer journey. Happy to say that despite a very tough year in 2020, that we actually ended the year with 6,573 inquiries in 2020, which wasn't too bad, especially when we compare it to 2019. But on top of those 6,573 inquiries, we had an additional 11,781 contacts. These are from lists that we acquired from deals we did with CCW, PACE, and a couple other associations who we worked out a way to license. The big contributors to 2020 inquiries were the webinars. They made a big change for us, made a big change and big improvement there. Emails, another big contributor, big change from 2019. And online content, on-demand content, most of the webinars, things they can watch at their own discretion. Those are big contributors to the inquiries of 2020. And so when we take 2020 and we look at 2019, we actually see that we had a slight improvement of around 2%. Really good considering the tough year that it was. And this is despite we had to take $1 million out of the marketing spend because of the trade shows that were all cancelled at the beginning of March. Ended the year pretty good. Our event marketing program has been instrumental in building an emotional connection between Noble and its customers and prospects. And we've typically conducted around 50 events per year. However, 2020 was different. To let us know about what we did differently, Here's Sian.
Thanks, Lee. Yeah, as soon as the pandemic hit, we quickly pivoted from physical roadshows and Noble Exchange events to the virtual platform of webinars. So we carried out these webinars, both live and also pre-recorded, which are recognised as on demand. We chose various formats depending on the topic and the speakers, and we generally promote the on-demand version a week or so after the live event, so registrants can view it at a time that's convenient to them. In 2020, we carried out 22 live webinars, as you can see on the screen, and 16 of these are available on demand via the website. Therefore, leads are still being generated today from all of the new downloads. Don't forget, you can view the webinar PDFs on NobleNet at any time. And if you want to view the whole recording, just fill in the download form on our website under Resources Webinars. We joined forces with a number of organisations such as Avaya, CCW, and the Credit Services Association to host joint webinars. We've got the next one of this type coming up at the beginning of February with the Call Centre Managers Association, the CCMA. The aim of these events is obviously to extend our reach and gain new contacts to grow the database and feed the BDMs with registrants to follow up with. Our best performing webinar was keeping your remote workforce engaged. That was back in April last year with 268 global registrants. Obviously, at the start of the pandemic, this was a hot topic and webinars were not as saturated as they are now. Since then, we're continually looking at new ways to attract people's attention and to keep it. So we're mixing up topics, styles, and platforms to keep our virtual program fresh and engaging. In terms of improved production, we're always looking at ways to improve what we're doing by introducing more interaction with the audience, such as adding the presenter faces on the screen throughout the presentation, as you can see on this presentation, looking at doing audience polls, and also displaying pre-event survey results. We've got a good pipeline of webinars for Q1 already, but we're always looking ahead for the rest of the year, and we'd really appreciate any ideas that you'd have. And we're always on the lookout for any customers that might be interested in joining us. As you will have seen from the marketing update that we send out weekly, we are offering a £250 gift card for any customer that speaks on a webinar. And also for every SAM that hosts a webinar, we're also offering the same. And if for any reason the customer can't accept $250 a voucher for themselves, we'll donate that to their chosen charity. As you can imagine, we were signed up to a number of trade shows before the pandemic hit, and some of them managed to shift to do a virtual trade show instead, which we tried. A couple of these are PACE and CCW. As you can imagine, they weren't as good for us in terms of lead generation because face-to-face is always going to be our strongest way to attract new leads. However, one of the good things to come out of it is that we managed to negotiate the entire registration list for each event, and this is something that we wouldn't normally have received. So this has allowed us the opportunity to actively feed our marketing funnel with all of these new contacts. And obviously, like I just said, nothing beats face-to-face engagement. So we're looking at getting in front of our customers and prospects as soon as it's safe to do so. Realistically, this probably won't be until after the second half of this year, though. We're going to start with hosting some smaller exec dinners and regional events and see as things open up for different regions and different parts of each country. This way, we're going to test out demand and find a balance with what's acceptable between our customers and prospects. And finally, we're looking at doing a selection of strategic trade shows in 2021. So we've already got a list that we've been evaluating, but please let us know if there are any events that you particularly like to do. Just speak to a member of the marketing team or email in, as we're always open to new ideas.
Last year, face-to-face customer events was and still remains a challenge. However, we made changes to be more virtual by offering virtual versions of Coffee and Snap, and also beefing up our popular power user group meetings. Our marquee customer event, which is Snug, was cancelled for the first time in its history and that would have been its 19th Snug. But we do have some good news there. So tell us more about Snug and the other customer user engagement activities and events that we have coming on. We have Tina and Cian.
So for one thing we did in 2020, as again, we were moving out of more in-person face-to-face events and moving to virtual activities, we wanted to make sure that we really were able to communicate all the different opportunities that we have to our customers, because we've grown quite a robust program of interaction for them. So we created a user community actually on the Noble Systems website. And this is a page that has information on all of these programs that we do, including Snug, our power users groups, Snap, and Coffees. So our customers can go to that resource at any time and see what's coming up in each of those areas. They can register for pugs. They can request to be added to invite lists for Coffees and Snaps and see more what's going on with Snug. So we're pretty excited about adding that resource for them. And speaking of Snug, this is, of course, our Select Noble Users group. We have annual conferences typically. And we normally do these in each region. We have flagships, sort of one in the US, and then we would have regional events as well in APAC and EMEA. And obviously, we were planning well along for 2020, and then we did have to cancel that event. We held on pretty late until we did it in March, just to see what was going on. Mostly it turned out when our customers were losing the ability to attend is when we decided to cancel it. We did have about 185 registrations at that point, so we were chugging along pretty well. So we are going to pick that back up in 2021. We originally had planned to do it in April. We thought that would be a great time when we first rescheduled it delayed it until April 2021. And then, just as things progressed, we figured out that wasn't really going to be workable either. So we are now having it in October. It will be at the Sand Pearl Resort in Clearwater Beach. We will be back at the beach in Florida in October, and this is going to be, it will be a live in-person event. We are also planning to have the potential for some virtual pieces. We're not quite sure what exactly that looks like right now, but we know that there will be people who will not be able to travel, not feel comfortable traveling still. We know that, but basically international, depending, they may not be able to travel, especially over to the US. We're not quite sure what, capacity and occupancy levels will be like in October, although we're hoping that everything's, doing pretty well with the vaccines. So this will be featured as our global event. We will not have separate EMEA and APAC Snug conferences such as they are. So we will have opportunities for international attendees to come to Florida or possibly attend and participate via some of these virtual pieces. And that might look something like, very much like this SKO event itself. So the agenda that is in development to accommodate, obviously, safe practices as are required come October and whatever that looks like. We will be opening registration in the spring, possibly later spring. We still have many things to figure out, as I'm sure everyone can understand. So just watch for more information to be coming out to you on that. Now, because we did have to cancel the Snug in-person event, we knew that it was going to be very important to continue to keep those customers engaged. And in the last couple of years at Snug, we featured these Power Users Group sessions, which are sort of deep dives into different areas of the product for people who specialize in using those pieces. So we took those and we blew those out, and we'd already started this actually prior to 2020. We'd done some in 2018 and 2019 as well, to do virtual meetings for these groups. And the groups that we currently have for PUGs are Composer, Intelligent Routing and Self-Service, also known as IVR, Analytics and Reporting, Game Masters, and WEM. We did increase memberships in 2020, again, because we knew it was going to be important to keep those people engaged since we didn't have that Snug opportunity. We do automated invitations right now. Initially, when customers join and enter our database, they receive an invitation to join the PUGs, and then they receive quarterly updates to if they can register, if they're not registered, or if they are registered, we tell them which ones they belong to and give them the opportunity to sign up for other ones. We also are doing broader invitations to the events themselves. We originally were only inviting people to a scheduled PUG if they had already registered as a member of that group. We've started sending those invitations to all customers each time so that they have more opportunity to be aware of what's going on with PUGs and register for additional groups so that they can participate in more activities. Right now, we started out in 2019, we had 73 registrations for the power users groups. In 2020, we increased that to 100 new users registering for the power users groups that had not previously been members. So when we add all that up, we have about 275 people participating in those PUGs right now. We did do 10 PUG meetings in 2020, and that was actually 2 meetings per users group, per power users group. So there were 2 composers, 2 IVRs, 2 reporting, 2 game masters, and 2 WEMs. That's sort of along our schedule. What we plan to do is have one of each of those meetings at the SNUG event itself, and then additionally throughout the year, composer and IVR would have 2 more meetings, 2 virtual meetings a year. Analytics, game masters, and WAM would have 1 additional meeting a year. And that kind of goes along with the popularity of the groups and the number of people we have registered for each one. Now, it's very important for us to keep these meetings going. These are customer-driven groups. So we need a pipeline of topics. We need customers who want to participate. We can't really drive these ourselves. These are for them. This is what they're doing with the product. These are cool things they can show other users to do. So customer contributions are key for us. And if we can't have, the information to share, then we have had to cancel, a PUG here or there because we just didn't have content for it. So it's really important if you have customers who want to participate, if you have customers you think have cool things to share and we can encourage them, we do have incentive plans for participation, both for the SAM and for the customer. And that includes, there's a monetary reward, but they also, customers who participate get a free registration to that year's SNUG conference as well. And now we're going to move on, and Cian will talk to you about some of the other sort of panel meetings that we've been having.
Thanks, Tina. As most of you are already aware, SNAP stands for Select Noble Advisory Panel. So this enables us to have 10 to 12 customers within each region that we can rely on for providing feedback through surveys, through panelists on webinars, and to give their opinions on various Noble initiatives. We host the SNAP meetings several times throughout the year within these regions, and these events bring together our most strategically important customers to share best practices and input into the roadmap. Jim Noble tends to attend most of these meetings, and it's a great opportunity for the panel to feedback directly to Jim, and it's something that they find really valuable. Traditionally, we host these meetings face-to-face with a dinner in the evening, but as Lee said, obviously this last year we've had to change the format to virtual. So we provided the panel members with an Uber Eats style e-voucher so that they could enable them to have a meal on us. And also to make up for the fact that it wasn't face-to-face, we also shipped each panel member a swag box full of Noble branded goodies. This year we've had several new panel members for 2021. So please remember, when you're talking to any new customers this year, feel free to nominate any that you think might be suitable to join our panel for next year. Our coffee program stands for Customer Open Feedback Forum and is a series of events throughout the year, very similar to SNAP in terms of the meeting format. The coffee meetings enable us to reach a broader audience as any customer can join. We had 4 coffee meetings last year globally and 49 actual customers attended. These coffee meetings really give us a chance to build relationships with some of our more elusive customers, ones that we haven't been able to get in front of previously. The feedback we receive from both coffee and SNAP is really positive, and the customers really enjoy speaking to our senior team within each region, and it makes them feel that their opinions are truly valued. Back to you, Lee.
Great, thanks, Cian. Yeah, we're really looking forward to getting back to planning the face-to-face meetings so we can get engaged with our customers like we traditionally have done. So we're looking for things like seminars. We recently did a banking summit, was very popular. That was a virtualized version. We're planning a healthcare summit that's coming up in the next couple of months. So we're looking for other opportunities, dinner meetings, perhaps when it's safe to do. And in the meantime, we're going to continue with our virtual programs, specifically webinars. And again, this is something that you guys can help us with. We're looking for a pipeline of content, customers to step up and tell their story to us and tell the story to the world. So if you have any suggestions, please let us know by emailing us at marketing@noblesystems.com. Having a robust content strategy helps us build brand, helps us generate leads by showing ourselves as experts in the field of contact center technology. So whenever we can, we want to get out and amplify that message. To help tell the story of how we're going about with our content center strategy, we have Tina, Aaron, and Miriam. And we've produced and promoted lots of content, and these include
blog posts, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of the blogs we did in 2020. We did a range covering our products, industry trends, company news, seasonal topics, and they are intended to rank on search and be shared on social media and picked up by industry media, like some of the sites you're probably familiar with, like Call Center Helper, TMC Net, and Tag Target. And we did 36 in 2020.
Yeah, no, you're right, Aaron. We've been really busy this year, especially since it was a little crazy. We've been focusing a lot on digital. We did over almost 1,000 social posts this year. We had a goal of doing something original every business day, and we've exceeded that. We share a lot of the blog posts that Aaron just talked about, a lot of campaigns you'll hear about in a few minutes. So, everybody on the team has been a part of producing a lot of content this year.
And part of that content as well was we actually produced a lot more new content and different types of ways of presenting information than we've done in the past, because we weren't supporting so many trade shows. So we had time to focus more on content creation, such as ebooks and infographics. And we produced 6 ebooks and 6 different infographics. And of course, you can find all of these items on the website and on NobleNet as well. And we use a lot of these blogs, social posts, ebooks, and infographics as part of campaigns. This was something that we really dove into, again, in depth this year that we had not done as much previously. And a campaign is aligning content and promotional items and promotion around a common theme. And these include a variety of materials. We used ebooks, video, we pulled for webinars and blogs, those infographics. We did e-marketing campaigns for all of them, along with supporting social posts. Press releases were included as pieces of these campaigns, as well as pay-per-click.
So now we're going to walk through a campaign and just give you a visualization of what these pieces look like. So you'll see here, you have social posts, individual emails. This is personalized emails from one of us to customers and prospects. Press releases, blogs, web pages, pay-per-click ads, landing pages, email campaigns, videos, and webinars. And yeah, you'll see here that this was our work from home campaign. All these pieces were to present the message for when we were, it was getting a pandemic, transitioning to work from home agents was a necessity. So that was, all these pieces were to align our company voice around that one message. And you can see our all the upcoming campaigns on our weekly marketing update.
Right, so the campaigns was a very important program we wanted to get out last year. I think we got 7 out, as Aaron just said. Well, actually 6 campaigns out, which is good. We're going to continue that into this year. with all this good content, we feel like we could do a good job in getting this out there, but what really helped is we went through some amplification process, and that is syndication. That is getting our content out to third-party websites, especially those websites that have high authority in the spaces that we want. Those help us with SEO by giving us backlinks as well back to our website from content that we're putting on those people's sites. And places like that would include like no jitter, banking strategies. The Wall Street Journal, of course, has a lot of authority in that space. So we want all those backlinks to come back towards us. And we need that through a content syndication program. And that's what we hope to do more of this coming year.
So as we create all of these materials, they become part of our Marcom portfolio. And in addition to new materials, we are always continually updating existing items. I know it seems slower than some people would like at times, but we're busy. We actually did manage to update a lot of the existing pieces this year, in addition to putting out those new materials. And you can always find the updated and current items on NobleNet Marketing in the materials library. This is what we've called the safe zone. And we started talking about this last year at SKO, actually, that we were going to start deleting some of those archived items from the old folder systems that some of you may have been familiar with, and start putting more things actually onto the website for NobleNet Marketing. So you can go there, you can download the PDFs and infographics and webinar documents to review those. And that should always be where you go for materials. If you're downloading things and saving them locally, then we may release a new version of it, and what you have might not be the most current. So that's where you can always check for the most current items. We also have out there, did a lot of webinars, and some of these were packaged a little bit differently. We called some of them tech talks. We called some of them compliance briefings, as they started to take different formats. Some were longer, they were 45 minutes. Some of the tech talks were briefer, 15 minutes. Different ways for different people to consume information, in different formats and lengths to try and grab different audiences. We also continued with doing video testimonials and case studies. And we had sort of a new approach for some of them, working with the customer actually on their premise at their sites to video them there instead of, just in our green room. And of course, we love to do case studies. We love to do testimonials. These are great to get that customer feedback and buy-in and validation. But we need your help on those, obviously. If you need to let us know when you have a customer that's done great things, and then, put us in touch with them so that we can get those pieces together. Because if we can get a customer saying, answering 3 questions, we can do a great deal of information with that.
We also had gamification videos and explainer videos that are part of our content strategy, of course. We had 5 gamification videos released in 2020, including the explainer video. Primary gamification videos we released are short 30-second snippets outlining a product feature or important element of gamification. The explainer video was a longer form video, which we conducted a campaign around with our sales team, where we had individual links, unique links, linking to the explainer video. And all those gamification videos and explainer video generated 250 plus page views and video watch. And so there's a lot of people seeing our gamification product, which is great. The next piece of content I want to tell you about was our gated and ungated content. We have a gated approach to content because it's important for lead generation for all of our content and campaigns, but we are beginning to ungate content, beginning with infographics to have giving more value to our prospects and customers without requiring contact info.
Yep, and another thing we've been focusing on the website specifically is there's a lot of data sheets. There's over 50 data sheets, and we are taking those and creating HTML web pages. You can still download the PDF, of course, but there's several benefits to having that in an HTML format. It helps with our SEO. It keeps people on the website. It brings us into the more digital environment because now we can link directly to these pages from social media, from other infographics. If you're on mobile, it's easier to view a web page than it is to download a PDF. We made a lot of progress with them this year. We've already converted 32 of our data sheets, and we're hoping to finish the rest of those soon as well.
Yeah, we've got a lot of good content. Hopefully we've just shown you just a few of those pieces. More things to come out in 2021. Probably starting off with a refresh of our brand. we call it generation 11.5. So you should start seeing pieces coming out very soon, probably starting with the sales presentation days. I think it's the first one. So keep an eye out for that. Also, we're looking into doing some podcasting. We're really excited about that piece. But we know you guys got ideas. So you can let us know at marketing@noblesystems.com. Okay, so now we're going to talk about social media and how social media continues to be growing in importance for us. It helps us generate brand, helps us generate leads, helps us establish ourselves as an authority in the areas that we want to. So to help us walk through those aspects and social media altogether is Miriam and Fatima.
Yeah, it's certainly been a strange year, and because of that, we've focused a lot on digital communications. Our goal is to publish once every business day at minimum, and we're exceeding that by quite a bit. We're sharing original posts every day. We're also promoting our webinars. We're promoting campaigns. We're sharing curated material from industry leaders like No Jitter, CCMA. What we're doing as well is promoting our ebooks, events, campaigns, because we want to be a really visible presence on social and promote our content. Great content is really only successful if it gets in front of our potential buyers. And that's what social does. It helps make us a visible presence. It helps promote our lead generating materials. It shares engaging posts to help show our thought leadership and drive awareness of the Noble brand itself. And that's been our biggest focus this year. What would you think, Fatima, some of our most popular posts have been?
So we noticed that the most popular posts in terms of numbers of clicks and shares are the ones related to charity and the ones also containing the job opportunities. We have been following closely the performance of our social media posts, and although it can change very quickly, we came to the conclusion that the items with more views and interactions are photos, followed by videos, and the ones that just contain links. Also, I would like to mention that the best day and time to post will be Wednesday around lunchtime. The reason is that our followers are having lunch and they have time to read through their Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. On the other hand, in order to increase our brand awareness, apart from posting of LinkedIn page, we are now sharing articles and events through 55 LinkedIn groups. Those have more than 700,000 members in total, and all those members are contact center people. So we are in the right spot. And to finish with this point, just mentioning that besides GoToWebinar, we are also using Facebook events and Eventbrite to promote our webinars and events, and it's working really well.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. We've been really promoting a lot on a lot of different platforms. One of the things we've seen that's really successful is multimedia content, animated graphics, infographics. And so this year, one of our focuses is going to be promoting those. Another thing that we're going to focus on, social snippets for SAMs and business development to share to their own followers, not just sharing Noble content, but creating content that it looks like it's driven from them individually, from you guys individually, which kind of leads us into how important social amplification is.
We have a lot of good messages we want to put out, and about 2 years ago, we decided to involve a tool called amplification, specifically called Sociable. And that essentially allows us to amplify our message, get out into bigger networks. So we might only have X amount of contacts through LinkedIn, I think 10,000 or so through LinkedIn, but through amplification, using the aggregation of everyone else's network, we're actually able to amplify to like 157,000. And so it's a really cool tool. And Miriam, want to tell us a bit more about what we're doing on the Sociable?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You can see on the chart there, we have currently a little over 10,000 followers on LinkedIn. Through Sociable, we're able to reach almost 160,000 people on LinkedIn. So, amplification sharing through Sociable really is effective. It reaches a lot more people than just Noble by itself does. So that's one reason it's really important. Some of the things we try to do to help engage our own Noble users. We've got campaigns, we've got channels, place where employees can submit their own content. And we have last 30 days, we've had 16 original posts from some of our SAMs. So there's some of you guys are really active on it, and we really appreciate that. It's really helpful, not just for us in our data, but also for you, because again, it reaches a lot more people. So there's a lot of benefits to social. Wouldn't you agree, Fatima?
Exactly, Miriam. And another benefit is that we discovered is that Sociable is also a fantastic tool to amplify our recruitment communication because your connections share with you similar job title profiles. So by sharing new vacancies, you will be helping HR reach the right target and you will save them a lot of time. So remember, if you ever see new job opportunities on Sociable, don't forget sharing it with your connections, please.
Yep, it's really important. We got winners every month. For the beginning of the year, we tried some charity tree points where you could plant trees on Sociable. One thing we've recently introduced is the competitor channel, where you can see what a lot of our competitors in the same space are posting on social media. It's great to see what Avaya is doing or what Genesis is doing on social. See kind of how we stack up against that and how maybe you stack up against that as well when you're sharing. So these are some things that we hope are useful.
Yeah, we obviously really do hope it's very useful. We love Sociable and what it does for us in amplification of our messaging. As we move forward into 2021, we will be right-sizing the amount of licenses we have. So those people who are using Sociable correctly and for engagement will maintain those licenses, and those people who are not engaging with Sociable will be dropping those licenses and move to other people who are using it, because we do have a lot of people who want to use it. So if you'd like to know a little bit more about Sociable or anything you've seen on this particular section, please let us know at marketing@noblesys.com. A big goal for us in 2020 was for us to show better in Google search results, especially in some of the high value and high traffic keywords that we're looking for. Simply put, having better search results equals more eyeballs, equals more traffic, and with some good user experience, hopefully lead to more leads. So we've made some great headway in this space here, and to tell us all about it is Anne-Marie and Tony.
Hi, my name is Anne-Marie Youssef. It's nice to virtually meet everyone. We're going to start off with just a brief overview of what is SEO. So in a nutshell, SEO stands for search engine optimization. In simple terms, it means the process of improving your site to increase its visibility for relevant searches. Say you're interested in IVR features and benefits or call management system. If you Google either of those keywords, you'll see us on the first page. That's because we've searched for what are high volume keywords, what are people looking for out there in the industry. And we've optimized our content and our pages so that we'll show up organically in Google on the first page. So today we're going to go over briefly just the improvements that were made over the last year and what we'll be focused on in 2021. So as you can see from the second bullet, we increased our organic web traffic from an average of 20,000 per month to 223,000 per month for both desktop and mobile. Now, what this means is if it puts a monthly cost to, if we purchase this traffic, that's the cost value to it. So we started out at 20,000, we're at 223,000. So you can see that we've made a drastic improvement through impressions, searches, keywords that we're ranking for. We have 446 new contact center related keywords that we're ranking for. We've increased the domain linking back to our website by 152. When you increase links back to your website, it really increases your site authority, resulting in higher ranking from Google, which is really where we want to be. That's really been one of our main focuses, is trying to find those high volume keywords and really tackle those this year and where we might be missing out on some other ones. So I'm going to let Tony take over on site improvements and impact on user experience.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. Yeah, so one of the big things we did to improve user experience was site speed. Pages with longer load time usually have a higher bounce rate. So With the help of Jim Texter's team, we were able to bring up our Google Lighthouse score significantly to 86 on mobile and 95 on desktop. This is important because search engines like Google use page time and algorithms to determine rankings. So traffic is more likely to be guided to sites that load quickly. We ultimately found that the problem was the way the Google Tag Manager script was loading, so the issue was fixed. And in the process, we were also optimizing our site to improve speed by removing a lot of dead code from WordPress theme files, analyzing performance of site plugins, finding and fixing broken URLs, reviewing content, optimizing images. So, it took some time, but we got all that done, and we have a much faster website right now. I think now we can continue to talk about more improvements we're going to do for 2021.
So now we'll get into the focus on search engine management for 2021. The first is monitor core web vitals and improve web page experience. How we're going to do that is by the data that we receive from Google Analytics. We want to see which pages are resonating. If there's content that's resonating, we'll have a heat map to find out how people are actually using the website. Is there a higher bounce rate on a certain page and why that is, and how we can make changes to the website to improve that. The second is increased focus on buyer intent keywords. So buyer intent keywords, those are search queries that show someone is actively looking to make a purchase. So instead of a search of just contact center software, a person would pose a question or a pain point. So we really want to focus in our content on what the buyer intent will be. The increased focus on mobile SEO, want to make sure that the mobile SEO experience is really at the top of what it should be. So that'll be a main focus going into this year, especially for the Google Core update that's coming up in May, which we've been preparing for a month. Optimize content for featured snippets. You can see there's an example below. The featured snippet is a free organic search that comes up on the first page. It's right underneath what you would see for a paid ad. And this is really where we want to be. It's number one position. And you can see a lot of these will include lists. So if you're looking at call center software, 5 benefits of IVR, you're going to see us at the very top of the page. That's really where we want to be. So create content from keyword gap analysis. We've looked into where our competitors are ranking for their keywords, and we want to find out if we have any gaps, if there are any holes in any of our content, and really focus on that. And then monitor keyword cannibalization. So if we, as you know, the marketing team pushes out a lot of content, and we want to make sure that our pages aren't fighting against each other. We want to make sure that their ranking is where it should be. So really that wraps it up.
Everyone is competing to get their messages out and gain attention, to have their email read. And we're no different. To be successful, we stepped up the use of marketing technology for better analytics, data tools, and automation to improve our ability to engage with our prospects. To walk us through these types of things that we are doing, we have Aaron and Miriam.
Big focus for us this coming year, and it's a priority for us always, is tracking and improving upon our engagement rates, such as email opens and clicks, website page views and sessions, and how much people access our content. And some of the ways that we improve those engagement rates are by promoting different types of content, promoting the best types of content that people want to engage with based on previous conversion rates, changing up our messaging for our emails, and doing A/B tests, checking spam scores to make sure we're reaching the inbox, looking at heat maps to see where our audience is clicking on our emails, and which links they're clicking on, which links get the most clicks. Making sure emails are mobile friendly, tracking our domain reputation, and including multiple calls to action and personalization, like individuals, names, companies, and other values that are specific to that contact. And another focus for us in the coming year will be doing a further examination on personas, so those values that are specific to an individual, like their company, industry, role, and region, and doing audience-based automation, so specific campaigns and promotions to our audience based on their specific role, their specific values.
There's been a lot of work, just to follow up on that, this year on putting those structures in place so that our emails can always be more lead generating, and they reach the right audience, or they're nurturing the audience that's not necessarily engaged yet. So we get them farther along that funnel. And we have a lot of data to work with. If you notice, we've sent 7 million emails in 2020. It's a big improvement or big increase from our previous year, obviously in part due to a shift in strategy this year. We get 78 inquiries a month on average over email. We got 22,000 activities a month, and opens. 36% of opens are on mobile, 64% on desktop. So like Aaron said, we look a lot at are these opening on mobile as well as they are on your desktop. One of our best performing emails this year was the how to motivate employees, top 5 ways to motivate employees. And following up on what Aaron said, we can look at to see where people are clicking on the email and use that to structure graphically. Do we need to shift our messaging? Do we need to shift where we put buttons to improve iteratively on all the emails that we sent to make sure they're always providing the right information to the right people? And then we automate that to provide notification for the ones that are providing good leads to the salespeople so that you can act on these emails and on these contacts as we get them in. And so that you can see how people are engaging with our emails.
So we have a lot of things going on, and all of these activities help gauge where a prospect is in the funnel, or whether they're ready or not to engage further, whether they're ready to move to the next level. Maybe it's a demo, but these are a lot of activities that we need to keep track of. And to do that, we employ a lot of workflows that's part of our process, part of our operations, and these help us automate a lot of time and labor-intensive activities. Without it, simply, we just could not be able to manage all these amount of activities and be able to prioritize what we're doing next. So workflows is a growing important piece for us. It helps us move prospects to the right people. It helps us score the right activity and paint a better picture of each individual prospect.
Yeah, and so the workflows that we mentioned, one of the main things that they help us do is to score our contacts based on behavioral data, which is what they do. So, you know, the web pages they visit, the emails that they engage with, webinars that they attend, and then their demographic data. So that's who they are, their job title, their industry, their company, their location. And so we've been scoring for years with our marketing automation platform. And it's going to be a bigger focus for us in 2021, because it's what we're going to be doing is segmenting contacts and campaigning to them based on those, based on their score data. Your focus 2021 is tracking our known website visits. That's known or named contacts and companies. What we are seeing, you know, is a monthly average of over 220 known companies and over 360 named contacts that visit our website per month, and that's an increase from 2019 to 2020. And we're going to be using that data to target our campaigns and promotions to contacts based on their level of engagement. What you'll see here also is that where people are, what location they're coming from when they engage our website, it follows a similar pattern to our amount of contacts that are in our database from which regions and territories. So heavy focus on United States, North America contacts, but then a good presence in MEA and APAC regions as well. And those are the regions that we're seeing the most website visits.
In fact, one of the things we're looking to do more of in 2021 is look at buyer intent, using that data, using what they're looking at on the website, looking at what other sites they visit. We're hoping to use some of this behavioral and demographic data in addition to that activity to show how strong their buyer intent is. And that helps us, again, with the lead generation activity. If you have someone, for example, who is visiting other providers, visiting our speech analytics provider, you can extrapolate from that. They have a high buyer's intent. We can get that immediately to a SAM. If you have someone who's not really, who's just kind of flirting with looking at our website. They haven't really done a lot. We might instead move them into an automated workflow, move them down that funnel. So that's something we're looking at in 2021.
And many other activities. So the marketing team's know-how and the employment of good marketing technology allows us to have better engagement, and only going to help us increase better engagement as we move into 2021. An important area for us to develop is our relationship with analysts and consultants. With analysts, they provide us with the third-party validation that we're looking for. And with consultants, we're looking for an introduction into their customers and to be brought along for those rides. These type of practices and other affiliated type marketing practices are things that we want to talk about in this next piece here with Tina and Sian.
So one of the areas that we're going to continue building for 2021 is our relationship with Frost & Sullivan. We've been working with Frost & Sullivan for about 10 years, and we really focus on that because they are far more involved in the contact center market than other analysts are. And they really understand the value add that we bring to that market with our technologies and our experience. We did win the Market Leadership Award for Outbound Dialing Systems for the 7th consecutive year in 2020. And this year our market share was 26%. That was an uptick again. And we also worked with them to be featured in their Contact Center Buyer's Guide, which was released in December. And you can find that on NobleNet, and our customers and prospects can download that from our website. We've actually entered into a stronger agreement and partnership with Frost & Sullivan for 2021 that will help us develop more materials in partnership with them. We have an opportunity to do e-marketing and webinar pieces. And another piece that we're working with them on is their market research for CAS systems. And we have a really strong offering for that. And so we'll be featured, well in that research report when they release it.
There are plenty of other relationships that we want to get involved with other analysts, other consultants. These people are like Informa, Forrester, and Ventana. It's going to require us to get more involved with doing briefings, providing briefings, and providing customers for them to chat with to validate our claims. So we'll be looking to you guys to help us identify those customers. Another area that's been really strongly fast growing is this peer review sites of software. These are the type of software sites or websites that review software companies like us, and they pitch one against the other. They show really well in Google search engines and normally on the first page. So a lot of the times the prospect out there are looking for keywords, they land on the web page, and often companies like G2, Captira, Search and Owlers, a whole lot of those. And these websites act and look like analysts, but the key difference is that they are free. Often that becomes a shortcut to looking at vendors from the perspective of prospect. So it's very important for us to have a profile there, but that's the easy part. They are pay for play. Not only do you want a profile there, to be able to combat and show well, you've got to have customer reviews on those sites. So you've seen a few emails from us asking for customers. We're going to continue doing that because we want customers to be able to go onto those websites and place good reviews of us. But we don't want anyone going out there and asking customers to do it willy-nilly. We want to be able to control who's going to, because we want to only have positive reviews on that site, because if you get a negative one, hard to bring down. So please let us know about customers that you have that are likely to give us good reviews.
And we also do a lot of press releases. Sometimes these are global press releases where we release them in all 3 regions, and some are just sort of region specific. We had 22 unique press releases in 2020. Now that was a little bit lower than we had in the previous years. We sort of had to spin our strategy for press releases because previously we'd been very event and trade show focused and releases to drive attendance at the shows that we were going to. So obviously without trade shows in 2020, we had to take some new approaches. So we focused a lot more on product and sort of strategy and value benefits. A lot of these press releases went along in conjunction with campaigns for WFM and work from home and speech analytics. We did a lot of, we did press release to tie into each of those to help drive interest in that product in that area. We also were fortunate, we had towards the end of the year some great buy-in from customers to do new client announcements, and we always love those. So anytime you have any customers that you would think would be willing to work with us, just shoot us their information and we can get those. Those always draw a lot of looks because we have the company names in the titles, and that drives a lot of traffic from people looking around. And in fact, our most popular press release for 2020 was actually the one we had for submitting the amicus brief to the Supreme Court regarding the TCPA definition and their ruling on that. So that got the most views, as people liked the word Supreme Court in that. But it's compliance-based, so it gave some great visibility as well.
Thanks, Tina. Now on to awards. In 2020, we won 7 awards, which we're really proud of. One thing we're starting to see is a shift on the award entry process. So the last one we entered, and we've already been shortlisted for, was for the Forum UK. And for this, we had to provide a video entry. So it's a lot more work for us, but the great thing is the customer validates our solution on video, and we can look to reuse this content in the future. And we're always looking to improve this program, as it's great for us in terms of brand awareness and recognition, and it supports all the other marketing efforts to boost our perception in the industry. If you see any awards, obviously we have our list of awards that we generally enter, but if you see any awards, new ones that you think we should be looking at, then please let your marketing team know by emailing marketing@noblesystems.com. The next point of subject matter expertise is just to highlight that we'll continue to expand this program by promoting our messages as thought leaders or subject matter experts by partnering with various publications such as PACE or Call Center Helper. Similar to the awards program, these really boost our credibility in the marketplace and raise our awareness. And we're always looking for new ways to expand this. So again, if you have any ideas or you're interested in writing an article, then please let us know. And then linking on from this is the curated content. We're going to continue to work on white papers, blog posts and articles that we can share with various publications and associations. They then share our content with their members. It's a great way to extend our reach for brand awareness again, and also it helps with SEO when we have reciprocal links. And then finally on this slide, we have existing relationships with industry partners such as Avaya, Cisco and Salesforce. Well, we already do co-market with their customer base, and we're going to be continuing this in 2021 by getting involved in their events and presentations and offering some of our solutions on their respective app stores. Back to you, Lee.
Brilliant, thank you. Again, just to sum up, our affiliate marketing program is very important for us. We can continue developing this area. So if you know of consultants or even analysts that we're unaware of or should be developing relationships with, please let us know. If you have customers who are willing to give us positive reviews or can stand up and do a testimonial, that's something else we'd like to know too. Please let us know by sending an email to marketing@noblesys.com. That brings us to the end of this presentation. So in wrapping up, you can see that we have a lot of things planned for 2021. Really excited about those. You can follow us and how we're progressing on our NobleNet page, that's sales and marketing page, and the emails that we put out with our marketing updates. In the meantime, please let us know about customers we should be inviting to coffee, events that we should be considering, whether those be virtual or live, and the topics that we should be talking about in our webinars, and any speaker suggestions would be welcome. Analysts and consultants, we want to hear about those people that we should be inviting or engaging with, building a relationship with. We want to hear about who those are. And the big thing for this year is also improving our website, especially when it comes down to the user experience. We want to hear about what we could be doing there, and also topics that we should be talking about on our social media pages. So please let us know more of what we can do to help by emailing us at marketing@noblesystems.com. And thanks for watching.